Do not adjust your monitor or phone screen. What you see here is entirely real. There are spin botters in CS2 already. Now, it's no secret that Valve has always had a problem with cheaters. But with CS2 being on an entirely new game engine, people thought it would take a little while before we'd see some high-level cheats in it. After all, they don't even let you bind two actions to one key. So with that in mind, the question is, what does Valve plan to do with CS2 differently than they did with CSGO? Hey guys, if you're looking for a quick way to sell your skins safely, then make your way over to sellyourskins.com. Selling your skins is pretty much instant with an average time of 5 minutes to receive your funds. They can send you the money in several different ways, such as PayPal, bank, and crypto. There is also a bonus system where the more you sell on the site, the better deals you will get permanently. Use the link in the description and use my code TIMES to get an extra bonus today. Now, it's no secret that Counter-Strike has had a history of having issues with cheaters. Even since the early days of Counter-Strike 1.6, we had to deal with cheats like OGC, which stands for Online Gaming Cheat. Yeah, I know, very clever. Now with this, it didn't take long for Valve to realize they had a problem. So when they created Steam and updated the game from Counter-Strike 1.5 to 1.6, they created something called VAC. Surely all of our problems would be solved. So in case you didn't realize it by now, VAC was not the end-all for all cheaters. In fact, cheat creators found it quite easy to get around VAC without getting caught. And while VAC did catch a few cheaters from time to time, the majority of cases needed to be solved by player intervention. This means manual banning, which led to a massive scandal in the first season of Counter-Strike Source for Cal. You see, the problem with manual banning is that means that you have to believe the admin. And the problem is that people in general are easily corruptible. So all you need is one corrupt admin and you can manipulate the results any way you see fit if you have enough money to pay him off. And this is exactly what happened in Cal when an admin named Hamid was paid off to say that people were cheating when they weren't. This was obviously a major problem, especially for competitive play. So organizations set out to improve the experience with new anti-cheats. Enter SIVO and ESEA. For this and a premium price tag, you could pay to have a better anti-cheat and less cheaters. And honestly, this worked for quite a while, especially because Counter-Strike 1.6 and Counter-Strike Source had no official matchmaking mode. But that all changed with CSGO. This was far more accessible than finding a third-party site, but with how lax Valve's anti-cheat was, people had no incentive not to cheat to get to the highest ranks. So Valve came up with a pretty clever way to try to catch these cheaters that would get past VAC, and that is with the Overwatch system. Now, Overwatch was a non-invasive way to review demos and have players with experience ban what they believe are cheaters. The stipulations to get Overwatch were to have more than 150 wins and to be a rank above Gold 2. The idea behind this is at that point the player would then have enough experience to understand who is cheating and who isn't. Now at first, Overwatch was off to a pretty rocky start. The odds of you actually getting a cheater were far lower than you would expect. And this is because people tend to report pretty much anyone that does better than them or beats them. On top of that, it turns out a lot of players, even those who have quite a bit of experience, are actually very bad judges of who is cheating and who isn't. This meant that each Overwatch case had to be sent out to multiple reviewers, and then only if more than 90% of the reviewers said that this person was cheating would they get banned. And given that in the early days of Overwatch only 1 in 20 cases were blatant enough that everyone would report it, you'd have a very low amount of cheaters actually getting banned. So it didn't take long for Valve to realize they had a problem. So what did they do about the problem? Enter AI anti-cheat. The only problem was they hadn't created it yet, but they had the perfect platform from it to learn from, and that is Overwatch. So for a year, they had the AI anti-cheat study Overwatch cases and learn from them, before finally implementing the system. And what did they do with it? Well, instead of just banning cheaters outright, they decided to make it so that the AI anti-cheat would pick and choose cases to send to Overwatchers. This meant that you would get a far higher probability of having a case with a blatant cheater. So in theory, this would mean that a lot more cheaters should get banned, right? Well, while it did slightly improve the ban rate, it was nowhere near what the estimates were expected. Which means not enough players agreeing that someone was cheating for them to get banned, and skewing over the results for the AI anti-cheat. On top of that, cheaters had gotten wise to this system. And just because cheaters are moralists doesn't mean they're stupid. So they found automated ways to skew over the results even farther, which made Overwatch fairly worthless for actually banning cheaters. But the AI was still learning, and in the summer of 2022, they implemented it onto VACnet. This caused some major ban wave spikes, but cheat creators adapt fast, and there was already another game out there with similar mechanics to Counter-Strike with a far more invasive anti-cheat that seemed to be doing far better.
Yeah, everyone report quick. I'll quickly send it off to someone as well, because...
Wait, he's cheating.
Yeah, he's cheating. Wait. I'll get someone on the case. Wait.
But while Valorant's anti-cheat was far more successful, it was also far more invasive. But when asked, Valve stuck to their guns and said they didn't want to make their anti-cheat more invasive. Which brings us to the present day. Recently, Counter-Strike 2 has been announced, and the limited test is playable, and playable by very few, so it's surprising to see that cheats are already running rampant throughout it. And no, I'm not talking about the weird console commands that Valve implemented straight into the game that give you wall hacks. Why they even added those in the first place, I have no idea. Maybe as a way to train VACnet for Source 2.
Why does it just keep... What is this? There's like more than 5.
Too long. Three.
Guys, I gotta reconnect.
What is oddly suspicious about CS2 is that with all the changes coming, they don't mention the anti-cheat once. And it seems the ability to do Overwatch cases has disappeared with the release of the limited test beta, which just hinders players even farther from removing cheaters from their games. So what could this mean exactly? Has Valve just simply given up on getting rid of cheaters altogether? Well, to get the answer to that, we're going to have to look into some data mining. You know, the same method that was used to find out about Counter-Strike 2 before they announced it. And sure enough, you can see here there's a leak for Counter-Strike 2 called VAC Live. It looks like it is a real-time anti-cheat that will ban a cheater mid-match and cancel out the match. This is sort of like how the anti-cheat in Valorant works, and it would look like this. This is definitely an upgrade from how the current system works, since currently it could take months before the person that is detected is banned. This is because VAC currently bans in waves, but just because they'd be banned instantly now doesn't mean that they're going to get detected. There needs to be a massive overhaul in how it detects cheats. Valve has already stated how they don't like the idea of making their anti-cheat more invasive, so I imagine they're going to go with their AI anti-cheat, using the foundation of what it's learned from CSGO Overwatch to ban cheaters in real time. With any luck, they'll release a new update on their website soon, discussing what their plans are for the next level of anti-cheat. As for the beloved Overwatch system, I don't see it returning. After all, if the anti-cheat is up to par, they won't see any need for it. Anyways guys, that's it for this video. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Do you think they will have an improved anti-cheat in CS2? And without making it more invasive, how will they go about it? As always, have a great day.